Hey, peace world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. My name is Wood. Let's jump right into it, man. I'm a Washington Redskins fan, so that's one of the. From time to time, I kind of check in on them and see what they're doing. Um, the funny thing is, it's the end of the world, and it's one, we're a bad football team. But it's crazy to look at the comments from fans and the BS that's going on there, and then to look at the standings and see that we're tied for first place in the division. That's crazy. Um, Knowing that we have the Ravens coming up this week, who are coming off of an ugly loss and a bad performance from their franchise quarterback. Um, but I just wanted to talk through a couple of things. It's rough being a fan right now. It's rough interacting with other fans, and follow the team and support the team however you want to. Um, you know, uh, do that. But as collectively we act like every play is the end of the world, and for me, it's emblematic of the fact that we're a horrible team and we've been horribly ran for 15, 20 years. And so now, let me get into it. Right now, it's a lot of heat coming for Haskins, Dwayne Haskins. Who came off of his a three coming off of a three interception game against the Browns. But how was the energy for Haskins after a three interception game? About the same as what it was for two games where he threw zero interceptions. And I know this kid isn't perfect. I know he's regressing a little bit. I know nobody wants to, and as other young quarterbacks are excelling, it turns the heat up on this kid. No one's concerned about whether the fact there was a preseason, how training camp went down, new offensive coordinator, all the stuff that had. Nobody wants to hear any of that, and I get that. And if they were to move on to the Kyle Allen cat, so be it. I'm good with that too. I'm good with that too. But so let me talk a little bit more before I get through these points. We weren't happy with Kirk Cousins. We were split. And then as a team, they didn't want to invest in him long term, and he was allowed to walk. And look at him now. I mean, he had his good season and then a playoff run and whatnot, or appearance or two. But look at him right now. He's 0-3 with a guaranteed $84 million, I believe. He was on the hot. He was on the hot seat last year to start the season before he rebounded, and it was a rough introduction when he got to Minnesota. But that's a little bit beside the point. Some stuff specific to Haskins. Why is it rushing attempts, only 20 rushing attempts, and he has 37 passing attempts? Why are we putting the onus on this kid who has the problem of staring down receivers, despite the fact he didn't throw he didn't throw any picks the first 2 weeks. But why put it all on him? Where are the screens? Why is so much being done from the pocket? Why isn't he moved around a whole lot? No shots down the field. I'm sure some people would say that he's inaccurate, so that wouldn't matter. But does he not have time to throw down the field? We had that short field situation, like three possessions in the second half after we went down. Why weren't there any shots to the end zone? Maybe a passing interference gets called or something. But I don't see any of that. Another thought, he could throw 2 interceptions, have a completion percentage above 60%, get a win next week, and nobody would really say anything because of the win. And I was on. I said a couple of weeks ago, if he's if mistakes from him become the exact reason or the directly lead to us losing games, I feel like he's gonna lose the team. And he finally had that happen this week. We lost against the Browns, and people are at the kid's throat, and at Coach Rivera's throat. I'll get there in just a minute. Last couple thoughts on him. Everybody knows this, but Peyton Manning threw 28 interceptions his first year. He threw 23 and 19 picks in years 4 and 5, respectively. They went 6 and 10 in one of those years. What I'm getting at is we would kill Peyton Manning today as a fan base. We wouldn't have it. What would we say after a game last night like Baltimore's Lamar Jackson? I don't even know if I don't recall if he threw for over 100 yards, but it was an ugly night for him. We'd lose our mind. Some positives on the situations. Haskins he got off to a better start than what he had been getting off into weeks 1 and 2. However, we fell behind. But he brought the team back, which I thought was a positive. He brought the team back, and we were up 20-17, and then ran into that offensive passing interference that was garbage inside our own 20, and it was 1st and 20. And we just aren't built for things not to go our way. With the interceptions happening too, we aren't built to recover from those types of things. I saw some complaints about Haskins being over on the sidelines, not acting like a professional. Some people mentioned biting his fingernails and blah, blah, blah. But the big thing was that he wasn't looking in the tablet. And years ago, the QBs used to look at the photos, the pictures. I said this before about Cam Newton, and I think I noticed it on some other black quarterbacks, if we want to be stereotypical. I noticed that those guys don't run back over to the sideline and get into those the tablets and back in the days the photographs and talk with the whether that's the offense coordinator. A lot of those guys are in the booth, or if it's the QB coach or whoever is down on the sideline. If that's not happening, I'm kind of looking at the football team, the coaching staff. Why isn't that happening? I talked last year about why was Haskins allowed to be loitering on the sideline versus finding some way to be involved in what's going on the field. But if he's not in that tablet, nobody on the coaching staff is held accountable for that. And then secondly, getting after Haskins himself, like what are you doing? Wasting your time after the game talking about don't be a fan later. So, and I understand him in social media. A couple weeks ago, the brother was driving in his car after the win with no seatbelt on. Just get off of social media altogether, man. Nobody wants to hear any of that. Moving on, folks are already turning on Coach Rivera. I said this before, man. He was only plus 12, plus 13 coming over from Carolina. Why was he such a savior? Now, I agree that I said why I would ride with him, because he came out of a good division and had to compete with the Saints and Atlanta in there. And he held his own. He had a Super Bowl trip. But in the back of my mind, was this a decision that was made by Dan Snyder simply because he looked around and saw that Ron Rivera had coached a black quarterback? Was it really that simple? Not taking into the consideration that Cam Newton and Haskins don't play anything alike. But anyway, what I'll give Coach Rivera some credit though, unlike the fans, like his decisions will be made in real life. There are repercussions for what he does. And I like that he came out and said, he's not turning his back. He's not giving up on Haskins just yet. Because that's real life. We can sit online and say trashkins and sit the kid and whatever. But there's a process that has to be followed when your name is on that door. Head coach. When you're at these press conferences. There's, for a first round draft pick, if he is to pull the kid, then we know that in all likelihood that's final. So, regardless, I mean, if you don't want to acknowledge what happened, what did he play? 7 games last year, 3 now. Not the best record, not the best stats. I get all of that. But there are some other things that have to be weighed and considered before you move on from the kid. If you're a coach, if you're a professional. It's a lot of eyes on that situation. Like, it's not just you going here and be emotional. And it's something that Haskins had to have done, that this staff evaluated and determined that this is the best direction for us to, even if it's looking forward to the future. We have to completely rule him out as not being our guy. And then we make the decisions. And then we go into next draft and we go get our guy, if that's how things played out. But you don't do that. You don't know that. You can't ascertain that after 3 games. He came out and said that, the team deserves better than that. 3 interceptions. It's guys out there playing damn good football and we're contributing. You can't come out here and throw it away. Throw 3 interceptions. I said that. He cannot be the reason directly why the team lost. And when you put 3 interceptions up there, it's hard not to point the finger at the quarterback position. Another point, y'all got to realize that winning in the NFL is tough AF. Dallas is 1-2. Look at all the investments that they have. Look at all the talent that they have. Look at all the boxes that they have checked on paper, and they're 1-2. Now they're scoring more points. Dak, I think, threw for over 400 yards in weeks 2 and 3. Don't matter. They still 1-2. Houston, 0-3. Chicago, a bit of a difference there with Trubisky, a guy that they hate on a regular. What is it, season 3 or 4 for him? He's being removed now, I believe, as they're going to Foles, I believe, or they're going to the backup. But they're 3-0. New Orleans, 1-2. Atlanta, look at all the pieces they have in place, 0-3. Minnesota, I believe, is 0-3. They sent my man packing. Yeah, they're 0-3. New York Jets, 0-3. They've been trading away starters and then paid the money to bring in, I can't think of the running back's name, Le'Veon Bell. It's just not easy. Somebody said it to me on Reddit, and I think I was thinking the same thing. It was the worst thing in the world for this team we can't even handle winning. But it was the worst thing in the world for us to win that first game because people's expectations took off. But that was winning as a team. This week, like I said, after the second half, we had the short field. You think you at least get up some field goals. That didn't happen, but the defense didn't get any turnovers. We have to win as a team right now. So somebody's got to make a play. Again, I'm not crazy about our secondary, especially them safeties. Which gets me into my next point. Guys are already, my last point too. Guys are already in street clothes. Chase Young, this is the first game that I get to watch, being that I don't live in the market. This brother is in a t-shirt and shorts. J.J. Watt and Khalil Mack both played 16 games a season for their first 5 years. If Khalil doesn't have 5 seasons of 16, he has 4 seasons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 seasons. 4 seasons of 16 games. We're in game 3, and Chase Young is already on the sideline in street clothes. Ioannidis is out there. Mason Foster seems to be a wash. Where the hell is Bryce Love? That situation. Look at the investments that have been made in the running back position over the last 6-7 years. In the aughts, it was the wide receiver position that we couldn't get. That we spent all them picks on that. So, like I said, man, be a fan how you want to be a fan. It's a process. You can't cut corners. And the coaching staff, regardless of how upset you are and yelling at number 7, there's a process that has to be followed with that particular position. And I'm going to be, and in closing, we would F Trevor Lawrence up. The suck for Trevor Lawrence and trade up for Trevor Lawrence. I don't know how you do that, but I see that comment out there. We need to trade up for Trevor Lawrence. Who the hell is going to trade out of the first pick in a draft with Trevor Lawrence? But we would F that up because we're a horrible organization with a horrible ass fan base. I'm to the point now, like, change the go on. I wanted the color scheme to stay the same because I love burgundy and gold. We need to change. We need to scrap everything, man. And then in closing, we need to get rid of Daniel Snyder. We need to get rid of him. Well, we can't get rid of him. If some of these allegations were ever to become anything, then maybe, there'd be an opening where he was forced out. But other than that, again, he's the one that I believe went in hand picked Coach Ron Rivera. What was so great about Ron Rivera? Hell, I'm looking at Stefanski like I like what I see in Stefanski. Who knew he was going somewhere with a better complement of weapons and whatnot, better situation. At some point, man, a nucleus in this team, an identity to this team has to emerge. Some area of the team has to be, we got to have something better than a better staple than Tress Way at some point. Now, what's his name is out there playing damn good ball? Terry McLaurin. He playing damn good ball. Anyway, man, that's it, man. Be a fan how you want to be a fan, but this stuff is getting rough. My name is Wood. This is Pay Me No Mind Sports and Entertainment. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace.